Well, since the death of George Floyd, we've seen many protests, calls for police reform, organizations looking to restructure to address systemic racism. We are continuing our weekly conversation this morning with Stephanie Allen with the Federation of Black Canadians. Hi, Stephanie. Good morning.
Good morning, Mary.
So I wanted to talk to you more about white privilege today. There has been a lot of confusion around this term lately, and it's a term that makes a lot of us feel somewhat uncomfortable. So I'll start with the easiest question. What is white privilege? What does it actually mean?
Well, I think to think about privilege, we have to think about advantages that some of us have that others do not, and that it's not 100% due to our own efforts. Although people work very hard, they overcome a lot of other challenges in their life. It really is about understanding benefits or advantages that are disproportionately large or at least partially undeserved.
All right, good definition there. So based on a lot of, recent conversations that I've had or what I've been seeing lately in the media, I feel like a lot of people have been saying, I don't consider myself privileged. I grew up below the poverty line. I have health issues, etc. What is your response to that?
Well, I think it's about understanding that privilege involves many factors in our lives. The gender that we identify with is the gender we were born, our physical and mental abilities or disabilities, our access to education, the countries we were born in. All of these things impact and influence our access to certain benefits in society because of the way society has been structured. It's the feeling of badness that people sometimes refer to is because it does challenge our perception of ourselves. It challenges, our sense of our accomplishments or the things that we've worked hard to do. Now, it's about understanding that people do work really hard who have certain advantages, but it's just that these advantages give them some additional benefits, additional access, and significant, return in ways that they may not have necessarily put into. I'll use an example. I have a higher education. I have a graduate degree. That graduate degree, I worked extremely hard to get. I worked nights, but I had the benefits of also having employers that supported me to do my graduate degree. I, had free education in Canada through the public school system. I was born in Canada, so I had the ability to pay for my schooling at a reduced rate. I now have benefits from my graduate degree that gets me different types of jobs. I can perform different types of duties. And sometimes that graduate degree might even give a hiring manager, some indication that I can perform the job better than others who do not. Now, again, it doesn't mean that I did not have all of those that work really hard for it, but it gives me certain advantages that people who do not have those same credentials or who have not had that access do. And so when I question my own privilege, able-bodied privilege, cisgender privilege, it's about understanding that where I have privilege, I can actually impact change.
Great example there, Stephanie. So, since this whole movement really started to pick up since the death of George Floyd, we've seen a lot of good things coming out of people who have started to acknowledge and accept their white privilege. What other examples have you seen there?
Well, I think what's really great about people who start to accept their privilege is that they then commit to making that change I just spoke about, because that access, that advantage gives people a chance to speak up, to name things, to work for changes on the benefits for the benefit of other communities where other communities don't have that ability to make those changes. And so that's a really positive thing that's happening. You're seeing a lot of people who have white privilege saying, you know what, I realize that this is something that I did not earn, but I'm going to use this opportunity to really drive the types of changes I want to see in society where systemic disadvantages don't necessarily hold people back.
All right, we'll end it on a positive note there. Stephanie Allen with the Federation of Black Canadians, thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you so much.